everyone, welcome back to another episode of JW Kids Online. We're back in the Bible looking at new lessons about the Israelites. So we've seen the Israelites go back and forth between following God and not following God. I mean, it's been quite the roller coaster ride, honestly. And we're almost to the part where things are going to go pretty great for Israel, but we're not quite there yet. So do you remember King Saul? You know, the guy who was made king because Israel begged Samuel for a king, and the guy who pretty much turned his back on God right away. Well, he's still the king of Israel at this point. And he's got problems, and he's not handling them well. What are they? We'll find out in a bit. But first, it's game time. All right, everyone, we are here for our super fun, exciting game called Apple, Banana, or Carrot. I have a bunch of questions here. They are Bible questions, but they are uncommon Bible questions, like stuff you may have not have even heard of. It's buried in there somewhere, but it's all in there. We have two contestants with us, two of the best Bible scholars I know, Miss Anna and Mr. Darren. How you guys doing?
So good. So ready to win.
You're so ready to win? How about you, Mr. Darren? It's your first time playing?
I'm feeling pretty good.
Excited?
Yeah, I think so.
Let me tell you how to play this game. Like I said, I have these questions, and there's three possible answers, A, B, or C. A for apple, B for banana, C for carrot. I'm going to read the question, and I'm going to start reading the answers. And if you think you know the answer, like let's say the answer is B, just jump in there and grab the banana. Oh, there we go. Oh, I can read these now. In the King James Version of the Bible, which of these creatures is mentioned in the books of Job, Numbers, and Psalms? Is it A, mermaid, B, unicorn, or C, yeti?
I thought dragon was coming.
Leviathan. No, it is unicorn. I think that's what it was translated in the King James Version.
Yeah.
I think what they're really talking about is rhinoceros, isn't it?
There might have been some type of ox or something too.
Ox, yeah, I think you're right. All right, you get this card.
Yes.
Did you already know that question?
Yeah, I did.
1-0. I'm going to ask up to 11 questions, so we're going to see how this goes. Here's question number 2. What unique significance does Ehud hold in the Bible? A, was he the first person described as very, very short? Was he the B, was he first person mentioned to ride a horse? Or C, was he the first left-handed person mentioned in the Bible?
He was the first left-handed person mentioned in the Bible.
Did I not tell you that Mr. Darren's one of the best biblical scholars I know? That is correct. First person to be mentioned as left-handed. Very good. You got one. You got one. How many people does the Bible say that Jesus baptized? Is it A, apple, 12, B, banana, 72, or C, carrot, 0? Oh, that was a quick one. It is correct. 0. Jesus never, at least in the Bible, baptized anyone. He always had his disciples do it. Word for word. Who wrote most of the New Testament?
Word for word?
Word for word.
Okay.
Are you just going to go ahead and answer now?
Yeah, I should probably know who's who.
Okay, is it apple Paul? Is it banana John, or carrot Luke? Carrot Luke is first. Luke only wrote 2 books, Luke and Acts, but they're 2 very long books, and you add them up, they're longer than all the epistles that Paul wrote. Okay, Ezra 7:21. Ezra, it's its birthday today. Turn that camera around and look at it. Uh-oh. There he is! We are tied up. Now this is the question. Which of these statements did Job actually make? Is it A, my breath is repulsive to my wife? B, my hair grows into my ears? Or C, my toenails are yellowed with age?
Can I grab both of these?
You can grab both of these if you want,
Okay.
because Miss Anna is correct. Yes, Job actually said, my breath is repulsive to my wife. He said that because she didn't like the things he was saying. Miss Anna is the winner! All right. Thank you for playing. That was a fun game. Thank you, Mr. Darren.
Read your Bibles.
Exactly. There's a lot of cool stuff in there. Let's go back to that lesson right now. So I have to ask you something. Do you have, or do you wish you had a really good friend? I mean, friends are important, right? Everyone wants friends. In fact, one of the most popular TV shows ever was a show all about friends. So, King Saul is still king of Israel, but he knows that David, his best and most famous soldier, is going to be the next king. And how does someone get to be the new king? The old king has to die.
I'm out.
Yeah, something like that. So imagine being Saul. The king after him was supposed to be his own son Jonathan. But because Saul turned his back on God, God was giving the kingdom to David. So of course Saul hates David. But during all of this, David had a really good friend. And that friend was someone who, by all rights, should have hated David too. This was Saul's own son Jonathan, the one who would have been the next king. Jonathan and David were best friends. BFFs, really. Even though David was going to get the throne that should have been Jonathan's, Jonathan was still his friend. I mean, he even protected David when King Saul was trying to kill him. Yeah, King Saul tried to kill David many times. Bad Saul. So, let's hear about it from Miss Anna.
What makes a good friend? Is it that they like the same things? Or maybe they live close by? Or maybe they're in the same class as you in school? Is it their personality? Or maybe the way they treat you? The Bible gives us a really cool example of what true friendship looks like. So, let's look at 1 Samuel 19. And Saul told his son Jonathan and all the attendants to kill David. But Jonathan had taken a great liking to David and warned him, "My father Saul is looking for a chance to kill you. Be on your guard tomorrow morning. Go into hiding and stay there." So wait, hold on. Let's back up a little bit. We have Saul. Saul disobeyed God. And because of that, his son, Jonathan, was not going to be king after him. So he started scheming. His plan was to get rid of David so that Jonathan could be king. Jonathan has a choice to make here. He could either go against God and listen to Saul, or he could obey God and protect David. And what did he do? Well, it says that Jonathan warned David. The Bible says that he, Jonathan, loved David like his own soul. Think of your best friend, the person you want to spend all your time with, who knows everything about you, who loves you so much, and you want to be friends with them forever. If you have somebody like that in your life, that is such a blessing. And you can thank God to have a friend that is so close. But that is the kind of friendship that David and Jonathan had. So, how did they become so close? They loved God. Both Jonathan and David wanted to do God's will. We see this when David defeats Goliath, and in other parts of the Bible as well. And we see this with Jonathan and his choice to protect David. You see, Jonathan could have tried to take out David. I mean, he would have been king. He would gain power and an army and so much money. But Jonathan knew that this was not the will of God. Jonathan loved God, and he loved David. And this is a great example of what a good friend is. Remember, Jonathan gave up his chance to be king so that David could live. That is huge. A good friend is also someone who first loves God. They want to do what God says. They love him, they want to follow him and obey him. Why, you ask? Well, let me tell you. Because God knows what's best for us. He sees everything. He looks at all the pieces and all the options, and he knows the best one for each one of us. And that's why it's so important to obey God. He sees the things we don't see. And so when our friends listen to God and obey him, they can help us listen to God and obey him too. Proverbs 27:17 says that iron sharpens iron, and so one man sharpens another. So here's a little cooking lesson for us today. When your parents cut up a tomato, do they use a sharp knife or do they use a butter knife? Well, let's see what happens when we use a butter knife. Okay. Oh my goodness, okay. So it's a little difficult to use a butter knife. It's pretty dull. It doesn't work all that good. It still kind of cuts, but it leaves all these weird edges and it makes the tomato all mushy. So what about a sharp knife? What would that do? Well, let's test it, okay? So a sharp knife cuts real easy and real nice. You don't have to put hardly any effort in at all. But sometimes even our sharp knives get dull and they won't cut right. So then what? Well, we have to get them sharp again. And this is a knife sharpener. And so what you do is you take it and you go like this and you sharpen the knife. But the thing that's in this little sharpener is more metal. If it were just plastic, you'd cut right through it. So that kind of goes to show that iron or metal sharpens iron. Just like iron sharpens iron, people also sharpen one another. Life can get hard. We go through lots of things, and sometimes it can be really hard to keep going in the right direction. It can be hard to see that God is still good in the middle of all the hard things we go through. But a good friend can help us stay sharp. They help us to remind us of the goodness of God, and they can help us to get through the hard things that we face. When we're feeling kind of dull, we can ask our friends to remind us of all the blessings we have. A really good friend points us to God, and that helps us to do what we were made to do. It helps us to love and obey God even when things get hard.
All right, Miss Anna. This is an interesting story because Jonathan, he could have hated David.
Yeah.
But I think, honestly, Jonathan was in this weird place. What do? You know, like, I was going to be the next king, but now because of my dad, I can't be. But I'm going to be friends with this guy who is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, what's up?
Yeah.
What's up with that? Like, how did Jonathan do that?
Right. Well, ultimately, I mean, he trusted that God knew what he was doing, right? He trusted that when God said that it would be better for David to be king, he was like, okay, God, you're God, not me. I'm going to trust you. It was probably difficult for Jonathan to be friends with David at some point, maybe in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually, I'm sure he probably was like, yeah, but it is, you know, a little bit, it is what it is. You know,
Yeah.
I'm going to trust God no matter what it looks like. You know, it's kind of that idea of, even though it seems wrong, or it seems like it's backwards, like, no, I should be king in my eyes, Jonathan was smart enough and wise enough to say, no, even though it feels wrong or it doesn't look right to me, I'm going to trust that what God says is right is actually right.
Yeah.
And what he says is true is true.
And that's what Jonathan did. He trusted God, even though in the face of everything that he could have had was taken away from him.
Mm-hmm.
He still realized God is with David,
Mm-hmm.
and I trust God, so you know, I'm going to be friends with David.
Right.
And just the fact that he went and like protected David even is just incredible. And I don't know, we don't talk about this too often, but years later, after Jonathan had died, and David is king, David still showed kindness to Jonathan's kids.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in an upcoming lesson, but Mephibosheth was
What
a
was
guy.
it?
Mephibosheth.
How do you spell that? We'll look it up later.
He was Jonathan's son, and he was blessed by David because of their close friendship. And it just goes to show that Jonathan trusted God, and it impacted his kids and his future generations.
And, you know, God's love for us and his forgiveness bind us all together. Even though we could have reasons to hate each other, we could have reasons to fight, God's love, Jesus' forgiveness, takes care of all of that. That's the God we serve. So, before we go, got to remind you, right here is the webpage for the Devo. Find that Devo, download it, print it out, do it together as a family. You'll love it. Full of things that'll help you with this lesson. Hi there. And if you want to go back and watch other JW Kid online videos, boom, there it is. Follow that link. You'll see all of them. There's a whole bunch of them. And we'll see you
Next week.
Got Mr. Ezra there. Ah!